Welcome, folks. Thanks for joining us over on Team Fortress TV for some ESEA Invite playoffs action. We're into the lower bracket now. Both these teams gave Ascent and Froyotech some really good matches last week, and, well, they got knocked down into the lower bracket after not being able to come out on top of it. So that's what we're working with. It's between the $5 Club and Street Hoops Esports, but I'm Gecks. Alongside me, I have, of course, my good buddy Marxist, Mathsad on production. But Marxist, how you doing tonight, man?
Oh, just fine. Waiting to watch these loser bracket matches. These are always really interesting, especially because, as far as historically goes, these are the two best third and fourth teams that we've had in probably 2 years. So, yeah. So we'll see which one comes out on top tonight and which one is sent back to the nether realm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The loser tonight is going to go home. So there's a lot on the line for these guys. You got to win to stay in it, since they both did lose their first round matchups, which were excellent games, by the way. A really good series. It was a shame they didn't all get played in the same night, the whole match. Both of them kind of got split, server issues, things like that. We're over it now. A little salty at first, but they were really good games nonetheless. $5 Club and 20B both. I mean, they gave those top two teams, NA, some of the best teams in the world, really some awesome competition. So like you said, we've got some excellent third and fourth place teams here. So I think we're in for a good one tonight as well, Marxist. I have a hunch.
We can only hope. But we got, so you had the rundown on the map. So we got Snakewater first, which is where we are now. And then was it Badlands next?
Yep, Snakewater, Badlands, and then if we need it, we're gonna head on over to Viaduct.
Oh, goody. So we're at least going to see Snakewater and Badlands. And then, of course, my favorite finisher, since they removed G-Pit, for the tiebreaker will be Viaduct, where all of the cheap stuff will come out.
Oh yeah, man, gotta love some good old Viaduct. I hope we get to see it. It's by far my favorite map to watch. So we'll see it. We'll see if it ends up that way. But we have all 12 in the server, I believe. So I think that is the cue for us to maybe go over some rosters. Marxist, what is $5 Club working with tonight?
All right, so on the $5 Club, we got Arctic Joe and Squid on our scouts. Mangachu and Milo is roamer and pocket. Mason is the medic now. And Aileen, aka Dingo, is your demo.
Oh, there you go. That's your $5 Club roster. Of course, over on 20B, you have Deadbolt on demo, Paragon and Sizer on your scout duo. You got Alpha on roamer, the man of the off classes. Showstopper, the meme king himself, is in the server tonight. He will be playing, and of course, you have good old Ninja Nick on medic as well. So the old 20B roster you've come to know and love, they're in here once again tonight to keep their playoff hopes alive, as well as $5 Club. So good matchup to come here. Hopefully, what are you thinking for this one? Who's gonna take the cake tonight? How many maps is it gonna take to get it done?
Well, that's a pretty good question. I'm not really sure as to how this is going to turn out, because each team kind of has their relative thing going for them. I think we've got a good showdown between Squid and Sizer, I would say, in particular, even though Sizer doesn't really draw the big crowds. But that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Arctic Joe does, since this will be his first merry-go-round with an invite elimination match, as far as I know. So there will be that, and then we've got two distinctly different styles of demo man in Dingo and Deadbolt. Deadbolt, your more traditional demo man. Dingo kind of does crazy stuff, and sometimes it works real good, and everybody says, "Wow, when did Dingo turn into that?" And then other times it's a little embarrassing.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on tonight, see if he comes up with some big stuff. He certainly had some big moments in their first matchups in the upper bracket. It was 20B who went up against Froyotech. It was in the first series, and then $5 Club went up against Ascent. And like I said, both of those matches went to 3 maps in total. and they were really excellent series, and we got to see some of the best TF2 that we may see out of these two teams right here. So it's just going to be a matter of if they can bring it tonight, who's going to bring it tonight. So I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I always got to ask you this question: who are your guys to watch?
Well, it's Snakewater, so you're gonna have some sort of combination. It's either gonna be a match dominated by the demos, or you're gonna see either a soldier or a scout take over. I know I named all the classes there, but that's usually how it goes. You're either gonna see a soldier really come to prominence and get a lot of backy plays, coming out a window and doing stuff like that, or the demos are pretty much just gonna run the show here, because even though there's the nerf, they're still quite strong.
Indeed, they can put out lots of good damage, and we are heading right into our first round here, folks. ESEA invite lower bracket. This is season 19 playoffs. In our best of 3 here, loser goes home, so it's very important to come out on top of this game here tonight. As we head into our first mid here, see both teams taking it slow here so far. Alpha's playing over on the 20B right side here on these roofs. He got a good rocket into Milo, got a couple of good ones into Milo, knocked down to just 13 health. He's taking heals now, but 20B looking relatively good here. They're getting in. Alpha's actually going to exchange with Milo inside of Kitchen, but he was able to get Mangachu as well, so that's going to be 2 players down from the $5 club side, and they've decided to just back themselves up as both medics get that Uber charge.
Yeah, losing both soldiers there in such rapid succession to simply just Alpha really robbed them of their striking power, and they didn't want to fight there anymore. We're actually going to see Showstopper goes in, but his med decides not to accompany him, does Kozin. Going to take a little bit of damage, fighting on the point now. Sizer and Mangachu are the 2 casualties. Deadbolt going to go down as well, and that'll be the end of that. And Alpha gets caught running around behind. So now we're going to see what they try to do here, because Kozin still has Zuber. They could try to block the point. Well, Kozin doesn't have a Zuber anymore because he dropped it. So,
oh, no.
Rip in pizza. There's no more 20B on this. There is also a full Uber for Mason. So they're going to go on out here. It should be easy to take second.
Surprise! Alpha's on Spy as well, so we'll see maybe if he can work something here. He's sitting on the second point area right now as Cherry User or Mason does have a full Uber, and they're coming in with it right now. Alpha unable to do anything, so that's really going to handicap 20B here. They're down just another player, and they did pop that Uber in over on the left side, unable to do anything. There was a sentry gun up as well. They finally got that down. Alpha actually comes up big on the post-Uber fight, got Cherry User. Frags ringing through for 20B right now, just Milo left alive. He is going to get taken out as well, so $5 club getting wiped on that last. It'll give some room for 20B now to come back out on the second.
Yeah, they got stalled out there by the sentry gun, and it ended up just kind of hanging out there and not doing a whole lot. And then the spy came up behind them. So what ought to have been a disaster for 20B ends up being quite a good cheeky play. So now we've got a fight out here developing on second. The scouts kind of lead the way to deny the soldiers, fighting over on the top left as well. But we've already lost 2 players from 3 now from the $5 club. They are getting evaporated. There's, scout down as well. Oh, Dingo is going to manage to get a kill, but it's not going to matter. That's a whippity wipe. Sizer will put the ×2 on it. We'll see if there's a pain train. No, there is not. So now it's just about which spawns do we deny. I think they will get Dingo and Arctic Joe. So now we got a mid fight.
Indeed we do. Kozin's at 80% right now, and they need to be careful. It's just Deadbolt in right now. Alpha's coming. Finally, the reinforcements are coming through from 20B here. Kozin was playing cautious. Didn't want to go down. He knew he had some pretty big ads, so he played cautious there. He did keep himself alive. He's just 5% away from grabbing up that Uber. He has it now. And the 20B squad moving in through that saw room right now. And they're waiting. There is a stick trap right around the corner that they need to be careful of, but they're not going to take it straight through Saw. They're coming out of window this time and moving it through the flank. It looks like Kozin took a couple of good shots. He's actually quite low on health right now, and Cherry User will be able to equalize these Ubers, I think. He's at 90% right now. He's just kind of stalling out, trying to get that. Maybe we'll have a second fight here. Squid was able to get Alpha. Indeed, we will. Nilo's in as well. Cherry User actually went down. I'm not sure if he got dropped or not, but no, he did get taken out of the fight there, and Kozin had to use his Uber, but that's 3 players down from the $5 club as 20B sitting inside of the lobby, getting the heals out to the reinforcements, and Sizer was in as well. Actually got Squid. Sizer still doing work, gets Dingo as well. Arctic Joe comes back with one, but Sizer's on a 4K right now, just wreaking havoc through the ranks of $5 club, and that will assist them in getting that first round here as 20B goes up 1-0.
Yeah, what happened there in the last round was as they were trying to get onto the point, Deadbolt just sticky trapped that left side door out of lobby, and I guess the $5 club didn't check it because outwalked Cherry User and he died in a sticky trap.
Rest in peace, Cherry User / Mason. But here we go. We're into our second mid now. 20B with that early 1-round lead. We'll see now. Milo going for a huge bomb across the point. He got some rockets off, but really unable to do much of anything. Dingo was able to get Showstopper. Alpha goes down as well to the scattergun of Squid, so it's 2 players down apiece right now. Squid's in on the combo, but he's going to get crunched by the scouts, but there comes the double donk onto Paragon that Dingo got. Arctic Joe was able to clean up on that damage, as well as the rest of the players from the $5 club, so 20B gets wiped on that mid, and Cherry User stayed alive, Marxist.
Yeah, both teams sort of just threw their soldiers into that fight to see how it would go, and 20B ended up being really cowed by it. They stood in a little group in the back there, and that just let Dingo kind of go ham on them at that point. So they're going to get an easy second cap, and Mason survived mid, so we should see the push straight in. They're trying to run a Pyro, Sniper, NG. The 7th player is currently level 2, so it's, you know, it's in junior high right now.
They did pop that Uber in from underneath, and Dingo was able to take care of the sentry gun. Still no frags out yet. Alpha's going to go down. Showstopper as well, just getting onto the point there, playing the objective, and 20B couldn't defend it, so a good response coming right back out of $5 club there.
Yeah, much better last push this time. They got right into the sentry gun and then just stood on the point because nobody wanted to mess with them.
Is it just me, or did Mason's name just change randomly? I don't know if that's just me getting it. I see him as Razor now, so alright, whatever. It's still a 1-1 game now as we head into our third mid of Snakewater here, and once again, both teams chilling back, waiting to make this first move here. Sizer's up top. He's got some high ground. Alpha's going to get up there as well to assist his teammate, but still no frags yet. Showstopper's actually quite hurt right now. Only 66 health. A lot of players from 20B are hurt right now. Need to be careful. Alpha goes down. Sizer's going to fall as well. That's already 2 players out of the fight. Mangachu did fall, but still that 1-player advantage, and they're actually going to have to pop off this Uber. Mason hasn't yet had to use it, so that may spell some trouble for 20B here on this mid. They're at least going to, well, they're going to get pushed out of here. Still hasn't had to use it yet. They're trying to get it out of him. Deadbolt is, he's able to get one onto Milo here. That's actually 3 players down for the $5 club right now. Deadbolt doing work. Kozin actually got Arctic Joe as well. I was a little late on that one, but Cherry User stuck right now by himself. Nobody there to assist him. Mangachu's coming out of the saw room right now. He's jumping across, trying to make a play on the Kozin. One good rocket into him, and he does finish him off. But Sizer is going to be here to help out. His good buddy Deadbolt kept him alive, but Kozin did fall there, so Cherry User is going to be able to snag up maybe some, no Uber advantage. Alpha says no to that, denies him. So we still have a mid fight going on here. It's the never-ending mid, and here comes Paragon trying to shut these guys out. Those respawns are coming in from both teams. Milo got Alpha. It's just exchanging frags back and forth here. Both teams down quite a few players, and Cherry User just got his respawn, but I think maybe 20B now is the victor of the mid.
Yeah, they put themselves in a really good position to have the 3 players they had alive all choose to shoot the same guy no matter where he went. But when $5 Club went in, they had a guy go to the left and one go sort of up the middle, and they didn't really support each other very much. so it was a really easy go for them to just deal with them one at a time. Yep, Mason did go down to Alpha down in there. That actually took quite a while, and it turned Alpha around. So good play on 20B not to let anybody else get distracted in that. That was Mason's objective there, was to draw as many people into his little game as he could to give his team a chance, but they did not bite. And also, I will attest that I did see his name switch to Razor as well, but it is now back to Cherry User. So maybe he had a sponsorship and lost it. Alpha Suicide's in. No go there. Killed by a scout. Looks like we're actually going to see a push. Not unusual. Yep, there we go. So the Uber is out from $5 Club. Gonna exchange it here. We'll see what they choose to do. They're hanging out here at mid is Milo.
They did pop it in through. Both teams down one. Cherry User did go down. Now Sizer's going to fall as well. They're trying to make this push happen, and they are succeeding at that. 3 players down from 20B. Kozin is still alive. He's all the way back on the second point. Deadbolt's going to fall as well, though, to Milo. So they kind of somewhat even fight there, but it is going to be $5 Club that comes out on top of this. And I'm going to correct myself from earlier. When I was doing the roster rundowns, I said Ninja Nick on Medic. It is indeed Kozin, so I had a brain lapse there. But anyway, it's going to be a contestation back out onto the second point from 20B. They're going to get their respawns, come flying right back in here. So they're going to grab the midpoint at least, and $5 Club down in the flank don't have that good a position here, so they're backed off for the time being.
Yeah, they've also got a sizable Uber advantage, so we more or less just put ourselves in a leapfrog situation when Kozin did not die and Cherry User did. They just sort of did it. They got the ball moving a little bit earlier, which I like. So we should see a second push of some variety come in real soon. There they go. So they're going to go out the left side through what some people refer to as choke or saw room. Uber's going to be popped, but it's not really going to do anything unless someone on $5 Club does something regrettable. And it appears that that will not be the case. So now they get to either fight or run, and they're going to fight, and there's a flank for Mangachu, so they can't get out. They're trapped right now.
They are. Deadbolt's just going to keep himself in. He drops Cherry User with a pipe. He's able to get Squid as well, but he gets the drop. And 20B didn't survive the fight, but he still at least got that drop. Alpha's in there. He's going to eat a loose cannon shot from Dingo there, but good play there from Deadbolt. Regardless, 20B still got wiped off on that second point, so they're waiting for the respawns as $5 Club collects up on this midpoint.
Yep, and in that exchange, we saw the evolution of Mangachu, because whereas in the past, he would hide behind and be annoying, but often bait his team and accomplish nothing. That time, he got behind really quick, and it absolutely killed 20B. That was the end of them because of that. And now we've got this fight here out on mid. Squid and Paragon both down. Lots of people hurt. Sizer going to die, but so is Milo, basically in the same second. Continual fighting. Alpha will be the next to go down. Deadbolt, easy pickings there. The exposed demo man placed into the Mathsad zone.
Indeed he was, and that forces 20B back to the second point here. Kozin was able to stay alive, but he has a hellstorm coming towards him right now. Just so many guys crunched right onto him on that second point. Arctic Joe was able to pick up onto him, and Showstopper's trying to maybe get himself out as well, but Sizer attempting to make a play as well. He's got a flank coming through, but he was spotted out by Squid, so he's trying to go 1v2, and you're not going to win too many of those. So that will be now, Mason with a full Uber, and they are going to move this one straight through. They take it through lower once again. Opportunity to set it up at a 2-1 lead, and they are able to get Showstopper as well. That's still 2 players down for the 20B side. They're pressuring this point a little bit. They have players on it all over it right now, but Deadbolt's going to try and contest. There's just too many $5 Club bodies around for 20B to do anything about it, so that will give them a 2-1 lead now.
Yep, they managed, the Kozin couldn't get out quite fast enough, and then they pushed in and had another really good push. So if it takes you having to totally blow it the first time to do it right 2 times in a row, then I guess I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, can't complain there, can't complain. So that is a 2-1 lead now, going over to the $5 Club as we head now into our 4th mid. of the game. Mangachu's going to be over on that kitchen side. Milo up top's going to get blasted. Just missed the air shot. One of the soldiers from 20B there, but Alpha was able to get Mangachu. A couple of frags exchanging here, but Milo and Mangachu are both down here. Both soldiers out of the equation. That's going to be Arctic Joe as well, so 20B's definitely winning this one. Alpha's going for more, though. He was able to get Cherry User, and he's still trying to contest with Dingo out here, and there's reinforcements to take care of him. Big Brown collects up onto that one, so 20B is just steamrolling. Another quick response from them. They have a full Uber to push into last with here, Marxist.
Yeah, they're not wanting to go down 3-1 in halftime, so better get this one. We've already got Alpha leading up quite a ways. Maybe they'll go in lower. I don't know. We've got a heavy and NG. The gun is level 3 now. It just gets big in time. But no Uber or anything of that sort, so we're probably going to see the fight here. No, Deadbolt's going to go down. That's going to make life real difficult. Soldiers on the point trying to do what they can. Kozen trying to Uber saw it and live the dream. Can't do it. Scout over here on the left not going to do anything either. Mason does go down in that, so it stops it from being an absolute disaster, but still not what you want to see on an Uber versus no Uber push.
I mean, everything looked as if it was going to be fine for 20B. I mean, what fell apart for him on that push?
They let themselves get stuck down on the grass. You can't get stuck down in the grass fighting against a team that has more numbers than you do. That was basically all that happened there. Now we're refighting it too, however. They're going to lose Squid, so that puts you in a testy position. Oh, they're going to lose 2 now. You can't really do too much with this now. Well, right away, they just get 3 kills right in a row. 1 even from Mason, who kills Deadbolt with a arrow. And they're gonna lose the med too here. Arctic Joe runs in. Yeah,
Mason with that arrow. Get out. Showstopper. Mangachu's gonna give a little face in the chat as well, but a couple of sick arrows coming out of Mason there. Or Cherry User if you're looking at his ESEA name, but my goodness, man, that was some good stuff, and that gives
kills.
now. Yeah, hey man, gotta give the medic some love when you can. I love it, I love it. So look at that now, a $5 club back out onto the midpoint. They're trying to cap it, but 20B wants to try and contest this. Mason has his Uber up and ready to go. 20B also has Alpha up on Spy. Big surprise. So we'll see maybe what he does. He's in a pretty good spot right now. He actually may be able to grab him here. It's tough. He's got a lot of bodies around him right now, Mason does, but Alpha maybe has an opportunity here if he plays sneaky enough. I mean, no, he's going to get spotted out, so no big James Bond plays coming out from Alpha so far in this game, but they still have the Uber. $5 club does. Kozen's just about to be up on it, so we should see even Ubers ready to go here. I think they want to try and take this in, though. They're going to pop it through. I don't know if they realize that Kozen already has that, so they do have a much better Uber here, 20B does, and they're going to just frantically run away here as they lose Dingo as well as Mangachu on the fight. So they're going to get themselves out of this one, or at least try to, but they have 20B all storming out of last right now. Milo's going to eat some shots, and he's trying to get himself out of here, and he's able to, and you have the scout duo from $5 club that was contesting a bit on this second point. Milo's gonna have something to say about it as well. There's just too many out here. Squid's gonna get caught in, and that will be 2 players down from the $5 club side as 20B gets ready to push into the mid.
Yeah, I don't mind gambling there, but gambling and losing a soldier in a demo is too much. Lord Kozen's gonna die to a dog though, and that's gonna reset the whole situation because now these players are not being healed. Lots of health packs being snatched. But I don't think Cherry User wants to mess them up. There they go. Oh, Sizer wins the 1v1 in the flank, has almost no health. They're going to deal with him for a second. And it'll probably be Mangachu. It looks like he's spawn camping now.
Yeah, Sizer's just lurking around back here. He's inside of the $5 club saw room right now. It's pretty much just him and Mangachu having a little battle out around here. Actually, Paragon's gonna be... No, never mind. He's out around here as well. This is a very awkward situation. You had $5 club over on that kitchen side, but they're about to get crunched. They did pop the Uber off. Cherry User's gonna try and send his troops forward, but they're not really able to find much of anything besides a pick on Alpha. There's Squid, though. He got Kozen, which is big for them to snag up as a frag there, and that's 3 players down from 20B. So the respawn's coming through for the $5 club as well. And the Uber push did work out for him here as Milo collects up on a couple more. Just one player up. That's Paragon. He's got to make a miracle play, but Squid shuts him down. So things looking very nice for $5 Club here.
Yeah, I like the play from 20B to just roll in behind him because they've shown they want to go grass when they have player advantage. But due to the Uber situation, it was a bit of an overcommittal. And now they're going to get wiped up. Well, maybe not. They got onto the point a little too early. And nope, they still managed to snatch it. And that will take us 3-1.
Oh man, $5 Club is coming out pretty solid here on Snakewater. They're taking it to him right now. 3-1 on the half against 20B. Some missed opportunities, I would say, from both teams on these last Uber pushes, but really, 20B in a bit of a rough spot here. They can, I have full faith that they can come back into this here. I mean, somebody give me a hashtag 20believe in chat. I know there's got to be something running around in there. You know, they're not out of this one yet. What's your biggest piece of advice for them at this point here, Marxist, if you had any?
Well, I'm looking at the stats right now because we got, you know, you never know when these guys are going to ready up.
Oh, that's true.
So, Squid and Arctic Joe are leading for frags right now. So, that leads me to believe that you may want to try and shut down the scouts from now on. Because they seem to be doing a great deal of the work. No one else. Well, we've got Dingo doing a lot of damage. He's at 350. However, Deadbolt is outdoing him. So, the only real area where they're getting really trashed on right now, 20B, is the scout frags. It's 21 and 22 to 16 and 12. So, might want to fix that a little bit. It seems like the scout play, it's just flowing more naturally because of how the match is going so far for the $5 Club, because they play in a big ball. The scouts are usually the last to die. And 20B scouts have gotten caught in some bad situations a few times.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that DPM that Deadbolt's putting out. He's putting out quite a bit for him so far, but nobody's helping him out here. I'm not saying he's a one-man team or anything, but he's certainly doing a lot of work for 20B right now, and they don't have too much to show for it other than one round. There's still a lot of TF2 left to be played here as we head into our second half. $5 Club leading this one 3-1, and this is our first map in the best of 3 as well in our Season 19 lower bracket matchup here. Like I said before, the loser goes home tonight, so it's a very big match indeed for these two teams. Try and keep their playoff hopes alive and have another crack at the two beasts of the NA scene, Ascent and Freotech. So here we go into this mid. Now Alpha's gonna eat a lot of damage up on that roof, on the 20B right side roof there. Right off the start, and Deadbolt, Showstopper, both quite hurt here. Showstopper was able to get an arrow, but he's just going to get knocked down once again to low health here as he pushes into that kitchen side. Actually, Sizer was able to get in onto Mason and take care of him early, so they have the heal advantage. But no, 3 players from 20B going down. Kozin, Paragon, Showstopper, they're getting demolished on this midpoint. It's just Sizer left, but Squid is going to be able to get that and a taunt to boot as well as he caps up on that midpoint for $5 Club.
Yep, fundamental TF2 there from the $5 Club. As soon as your medic dies, especially if it's to something cheap like a scout flank behind that you didn't see, then you've got to just dive their medic or you might lose the round. Especially at this level where you want to expect that teams know how to push last. So they had to get to Kozin immediately. They did. And they ended up winning because of it. It turned out just fine.
Indeed. They at least got the midpoint. Both teams down 1 right now. Paragon's going to eat a loose cannon shot from Dingo. And Alpha's going to go down as well. 3 players out of the fight make that 4 as Squid is just taking the aggression straight onto Deadbolt here. Showstopper trying to defend his medic. There's just so many guys around here. This may be bad news for 20B right here. Kozin is still alive somehow. Arctic Joe, please take care of him. My goodness, Showstopper kept his medic alive there. Somehow 20B stayed up in that fight. I have no idea how that worked out for them, but nonetheless, they did it. Great stuff from Showstopper there. That's going to allow 20B to come back in here. They got an Uber. as well as Mason's got one as well, but he's going to have to pop it off. Kozin still hasn't popped his off. Now he finally will. He's going to send Showstopper on forward here, but he's not really able to do too much of anything. But that will at least be 20B capping up on mid.
Yeah, normally wouldn't advise pushing in quite the way that they did there, but it seems like it was a really good call because the $5 Club was in shock. They didn't know what was going on yet. They had the opportunity to block that, to stop that Uber with their own Uber, but they didn't do it because most of their team was probably dead and having a philosophical debate about what's gone wrong in their lives so far tonight.
I mean, I don't even know what just happened there. One of the things that amazed me was the fact that Kozin stayed alive there. There was like 4 guys surrounding him. He had like 10 health. Arctic Joe just needed to breathe on him. And I think Kozin probably would have died, and somehow he didn't. So it's led 20B to get this midpoint back here, and now both teams are going to have that full Uber. So we'll see how 20B wants to push into this second point. Right now, they're going to get Paragon and Sizer and have them make a little bit of room here. Alpha's going to try and make some room, get something onto Cherry User, but unable to do so as he gets taken out. Now 20B's forced to back themselves up a little bit. Sizer's going to get picked off as well, so 2 players down for 20B. Milo's taking a good bit of damage down in the flank, but he's still keeping himself alive. Now he's going to go down. Showstopper was able to get him. Kozin forced to pop that Uber inside of the Saw room as Dingo is very hurt. Showstopper wants to try and finish him, but just not quite there. And now that's, an Uber's going to get popped out from $5 Club as well. It's actually out already. Kozin's going to get the arrow frag. He'll finish off Dingo. If Showstopper can't do it, Kozin will take care of it. So, players from 20B getting crunched here. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore in this game. Where are these players? They're on the second point right now. All right, so here we go. 20B's demolished here as $5 Club gets back onto mid.
Yeah, 20B went for the back cap, a pretty hard wrap back cap there, and then they sort of saw the writing on the wall that this was never going to work, so they just left the scout there to die because he's a patsy, and the combo actually snuck out like a ship in the night and made it all the way back through enemy held mid to their own second.
Well, Alpha was outside of Saul trying to make something happen, but he's going to get caught out. Showstopper was able to get Mangachu in exchange for the roamers here, and 20B has a little bit of advantage right now. They had 10%. They're still trying to send Paragon on through. They are going to pop it off onto him, but Cherry User quickly is going to pop his off as well. He came up on it just as Paragon started pushing him, so now it's $5 Club trying to fight out this midpoint here, but they are down a player. They lost Milo, and they're still contesting this just a bit, but they're playing it passively, just really using Dingo to get those sticks out onto the players of 20B. Kozin was able to get taken out, though. Mangachu making a brilliant play. He gets Paragon as well. That's 2 players down, and he gets a third as well on a Deadbolt. He's going to get blasted up, though. And Showstopper takes care of him, so frags exchanging here, but they do have the heals. $5 Club does, as Mason gets his heals out to his teammate. Sizer is still behind. He wins the 1v1 with Milo, but Dingo takes care of him shortly after. So, kind of a never-ending fight here. Both team with 3 players up, but now we're going to cool down for a bit. Alpha is hiding, though, inside of the kitchen. Get Squid, and we're still fighting it out here, Marxist, a little bit. But now I think $5 Club realizes it's time to back up, maybe.
Well, it was a good use of their respawn advantage. They knew Sizer was stuck behind, essentially. And so they knew they were going to get a little bit of time to fiddle around, so Alpha just went out on mid, used the fact that he can rocket jump to avoid anyone actually coming to kill him, and then that bought them enough time to get all their players back here. They're still going to have to deal with an Uber, which is now coming. Oh, up again!
Oh my God! Oh, there it is. There it is, man. That's some salt in the wound for $5 Club right there, but Milo's gonna get taken out as well here. There's 2 players down. Kozin's got a full Uber right now to push in with, though. 20B's losing a couple of players. They only have 3 up, actually, to fight this with, and Kozin's not with his pocket right now. He's gonna meet up with Showstopper, but Dingo's still launching some, yeah, whatever that's called, the loose cannon shots onto him in mid, but, yeah, there you have it. The plays from Deadbolt coming out big.
Yeah, that gets really frustrating because that's the second time that's cost them multiple points. Because you lose your med there. Yeah, they've already got Mangachu going NG. He's obviously not forward spawning, so it's just surrender at that point. And now you've got what ought to be, you figure, on an even situation, a losing scenario. So here comes these Uber players. They're going for the level 2 gun, gonna get it right away, but Paragon already dead. Player on the point, not a lot there. Oh, there we go. So the cannonballs are gonna try to fight it off, but again, not enough.
Oh, Kozen with the arrow onto Mason. These medics coming out big with the arrows tonight, and that was a great way for 20B to finish off that. I mean, you know, they didn't get the point, but they at least got Mason out of it.
Oh, and Mason throws down the commentary, says, "Nice, you've now won more 1v1s against me than Showstopper has."
Throwing it down, man. I love it. I love it. Milo's in shock. He says, wow, he can't believe it. But look at that. So I'm liking that. I'm liking it. So there you have it. That's going to be relatively even Ubers for the time being here. Both teams building them up. You have $5 Club back on their second point. Alpha's trying for a bomb, but he got shut down rather quickly. Paragon's trying to assist him, though, as the rest of the 20B squad comes out of Saul, but they're going to lose Kozen and Showstopper. They come back with a couple of their own onto Dingo and Squid, but Mangachu's still lurking around here, able to get Deadbolt, so 20B just getting crunched as they decide to push onto the second point here. Sizer, the only surviving player, and that will be a full Uber in the hands of Chair User right now, but Sizer is in. He tried to get something onto him, but just too many bodies, so full Uber advantage for the $5 Club.
Yeah, you don't really... I don't mind the push there. That was a pretty neat idea. You've got your respawn advantage at mid. They don't have Uber yet. You may as well go. But I always like to say 10% of this game, and whether you lose or not, is luck. And Kozen got caught by a spammed double donk, and then he did not have the health required to do anything anymore, and he died.
What a weapon it is. What a weapon. But that is going to be the Uber popped out of the $5 Club here. I don't know if that's Saw room right now. Alpha's up on Sniper as well, seeing if he can maybe catch something on the guys as they push into lobby, but Sticks are going to be laying down onto the 20B players. They were down on the low ground on the second point, and they're going to lose their lives because of it. But there's Alpha. He's able to get Squid, at least come back with one frag. Kozen's got a full Uber, though, right now. Some pretty heavy advantage, so they'll get ready to push on out here, I would assume, once they get some of their respawns up.
Yeah, we'll see, because they're already behind in this match. They're down 2 rounds, and time is burning in this second half right now. We have, there hasn't been a point scored yet, but you've pretty much got to go out. It's a lot easier than it used to be. Oh, Showstopper checks for the sticky traps, but then he gets dropped, and it's Mangachu for Showstopper so far. 20B pretty banged up. The fight now comes. They have allowed Chair User to get Uber, Mason rather, whatever you prefer, and they're gonna have to scurry out of here. The team actually split up quite a bit. If they had the wall hacks we do.
They are trying to get in right now, $5 Club, but the respawns from 20B were coming up, so they're just gonna kind of reset here. There's not necessarily a rush if you're on the side of the $5 Club right now. I mean, they're in a good position. They're at 3-1 lead. Ideally, you'd like to finish it off, but there's no rush for them to make any stupid plays. I mean, they can just reset here just fine. Get these Ubers up, they're even. It's going to kill a little bit more time for them, which is perfect if you're a fan of the $5 Club or a player on their team. So we're going to have full Ubers here in just a second. Alpha up on Sniper, Sizer on the NG man as he's building up his level 3 gun. But here comes Alpha. Actually, I totally missed this happen. He was able to get 2 frags on Squid and Mangachu. So that should certainly cue a push out of 20B here to come out onto the second point, and they're going to do so. Capo comes out of Cheese, and they're forced to use the Uber. Chair User not yet up on that, or not having to use it. Now he does, finally, so having a fight on second. No frags yet, though, as both teams were still invincible, but here comes Milo for a bomb. Ate a pipe from Deadbolt, and he's going to go down, get cleaned up by Sizer, and there's a player on last right now. That's Squid Deadbolt trying to make the play. He kept him off the point somehow with just a skin of his teeth, just barely kept him off it. And that is going to be $5 Club wiping. Huge Marxist, massive play from Deadbolt, man.
Yeah, Deadbolt went in there, he killed himself, but it saved the point. If you're a fan of Smash Brothers, you're familiar with the tactic of throwing yourself and the opponent off at the same time. And it works in this game too. Actually, Kozen 2 got an Uber Saw there, so he does not care here. I know they know that though, because it was in the kill feed. We read it, they surely saw it too. They're running away. The Uber really gets popped out for not a lot here, but they're going to keep pressing, which is cool. The Demo Man is already down to Alpha, and they're going to lose Mason, so falling apart here is $5 Club. Nice aggressive play. There is an ESEA Squid behind them, and it's going to get really tight here. I think the 4 win, yeah. They know they have a Squid behind, just avoid him if you're not a scout yourself.
Yeah, 20B's taking it right into last year's Sizers on Dingo right now. Deadbolt's going to get some damage out as well, but the respawn's in. Mangachu gets 2, and Arctic Joe's going to pick up on a Deadbolt. So disaster. 20B didn't have their reinforcements up yet. Paragon goes down as well to Milo. They still had so many players that were respawning. I think there was like 2 or 3 behind for them, and an unsuccessful push coming out of 20B there. So now $5 Club able to collect up onto the second point.
And when you see that kind of a thing as the other team, where they threw their medic and a scout in right away onto the point, you know they're a little desperate. It kind of smells like desperation, Gecks.
Indeed it does. They're in a rough spot right now. 20B as Milo comes in for a big bomb. He gets shut out though by Showstopper, but Deadbolt did go down to Mangachu. Squid got 1 as well. Kozen's gonna get dropped. Look at that. He gets taken out by Terriers, and these guys are just rifling off arrows left and right at each other. And Paragon was still in trying to get something, but I mean, we're seeing like a little bit of medic battle here. I'm loving this tonight. So there you have it. 20B getting wiped.
Yeah, the crucial medic DM fight so far tonight. Probably the thing that's never been said before. This cap is going to come out. I don't know if Paragon's back spawning on that or it's actually going to come out. It looks like it's a real thing. He is sniping on 2. So I guess they're going to give up for time and just try and block this Uber for now, because Mason's probably going to have to pop off.
Yeah, well, Alpha's able to get Mangachu, and Mason still has that Uber. Frags exchange. Alpha's down, Mangachu's down as well, but Mason still has that Uber, and Kozen's pretty darn close to having it himself. He's at 90% right now, so he should be able to kite this long enough to at least get it. He's just 3% away. They did have to pop off inside of the lobby. There's that stick trap from Deadbolt. Able to get Dingo and Arctic Joe. Milo's going to go down as well. Kozen with a full Uber to move on through with easy pickings for 20B as they get out on the second.
I'm gonna throw this out here right now. If it weren't for the sticky traps from Deadbolt and the $5 Club's inability to notice them, this map would probably already be over.
No, I agree completely. I mean, Deadbolt has just been doing ridiculous things for 20B tonight, and speaking of which, he's gonna have an Uber popped off onto him here on the second to try and save his life, but they weren't able to do anything with that, and that's going to leave Mason now with about 50% advantage or so, but 20B wants to keep moving here. Time is becoming of the essence for them. They're still down 3-1, a 2-round deficit for them. So far, both teams unable to cap a round off in the second half so far, so with $5 Club being down a couple of players, they have pushed back some, but now they have the Uber, so they're just going to stop this midpoint from being capped. They push them off of it, unable to find any frags, but they did at least stop the cap, and Alpha's behind as well. Big surprise here, he's waiting at the health pack. Oh, whiffs on the first rocket. Squid able to take care of him nice and easy, so 20B now maybe trying to... they did send Paragon through, he got Mangachu, and it's kind of a half-assed fight here at all. Deadbolt goes down. That may be rough for them, though. It's 3 players out of the equation for $5 Club as well, so we're kind of flip-flopping, but Kozen's going to be up on this Uber here shortly.
It was a good play. to come in there with your Uber and block mid. That I am fully in accordance with. But after that, they sort of just looked at 20B down there standing in a big clot, and then they said, well, let's feed into you one at a time. So that strategy did not work out, did not serve them well. Oh, the Uber is forced, though. Standing on the ramp is Kozin. He takes a donk ball and Mangachu from behind, and he said, nah, I'm done with this. Melee fight? Oh, he's gonna cause Deadbolt to be detonated.
And $5 Club's out on the second point here. Kozin gets an arrow into Milo, but he's by himself right now. He's backing up to try and meet up with Alpha here so they can start building up that Uber a bit, but Mason's going to have about 30% advantage here as they just roll straight back into the midpoint. Mangachu is going to decide to come up on Spy as well, unless he's waiting for the forward spawn, which I'm sure he's doing. So they cap this midpoint. Mangachu's back on Soldier, no worries, as they get ready to push in here with this advantage.
Yep, and they are building in the old school style, so they're going to have it pretty quick. And I imagine we'll just see a straight up Uber push come soon.
Indeed.
Yeah, because they're not moving just quite yet, so maybe they think Kozin has more Uber than he does. Yeah, it looks like they did. So they're just going to sit here for now. And since we do not know what time it is, there is always the chance now that it is close enough, because there are 10 minutes in this round yet, that they might just sit here and play it safe the rest of the time.
Maybe parking the bus, as they say. I mean, it's certainly something that they can do at this point. They're up 2 rounds at the moment, so no, like I said before, no need for them to rush, really. It's going to be on 20B to make a move here. So they've already sent a scout on through. They're trying to get the rest of their combo in. Kozin got hurt a lot before he popped that one off, so he kept himself alive with the Uber, but 20B unable to do anything here because Mason popped that one off as well, and they had a much better Uber. They're having a fight inside of the Saw room right now. Kozin taking a good bit of damage. Paragon's going for Arctic Joe here, and he is able to collect up onto him, but here comes Dingo. He's got that loose cannon here. He might get Kozin caught out. Yes, he is. Squid is able to collect up on that, as well as Sizer pistoling him down, and they're going to grab second here as well. Squid giving another taunt off for him here, and I think it's looking good for the $5 Club right now.
Yeah, and we must be pretty low on time because 20B didn't even wait. They're like, okay, they've definitely got Uber. They didn't run a suicide immediately. We have to push now. So it must be pretty low because no team really would want to do that to them, to go into that push that 20B just did under normal circumstances. It is 40 seconds we hear. So 9 minutes, 40 seconds. Okay.
Okay. There we go. 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Thankfully, we have Mathsad in our ear here, giving us the scoop. So the Uber is going to get popped off from the $5 Club here, but Alpha's up on Pyro doing a great job of denying some of that Uber. He should get taken down. He's quite low. He's behind them right now, but that's going to be a player down a piece. For both teams here. Alpha's actually able to come back out and do a little bit of work. He's going to fall, though. 3 players down, just only 2 left alive for 20B, and they can't do anything to try and contest this point, and that is going to be a big 4-1 lead right now for the $5 Club.
Yep, so their weighty strategy there has worked out for them. I mean, if you're a big fan of 20B, you could believe, because you can get through these Snakewater rounds in a little over a minute. But that would take a lot of believing.
Yeah, I would say quite a bit. So they got to come up and do something here. But Showstopper's going to go down right off the start of the mid here. Paragon going down as well. Mangachu's going to get taken out. But that is just 20B once again getting demolished on this mid. It's just Alpha and Kozin left alive, and they're both going to be able to escape. But Kozin is not able to get any heals out right now. So that leaves Mason with a full Uber right now. Kozin just at 70%.
Yeah, I like what $5 Club is showing too so far. They're not trying to do anything wacky to get that 5th round and finish everything up. They didn't do anything wacky in the last set to get 4. They just sort of sat back and played normal TF2
Well,
like what
just
everyone
as
else
you say
does.
that, just as you say that,
Well, that doesn't. I mean, Mangachu's on Spy because it doesn't matter
yeah.
anymore. They just sat back and played normal TF2, and instead of trying to do something crazy to win more, they just let 20B sort of have to fall on their own sword.
And, well, Mangachu's gonna get spotted out, but Alpha was trying to come up on Spy at the same time, and I think he got spotted out by Mangachu, so he's kind of forced to reset here. But both teams have the Uber, and the respawn is going to come through. Showstopper got launched outside of that cheese. I'm not sure if he did that himself, but he's outside there. Kozen's up with them right now, and there are some loose cannon shots ringing through. He needs to be careful, but he is going to pop off the Uber. Both teams are going to pop them, and that is going to be a better one, actually, from the $5 club here as they push into the lobby, and it's 2 players down once again from 20B. And they're trying to hold these guys off, but they just want to come sending through here. Both soldiers in, but quite hurt though. Milo is just about to go down, hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Sizer cleans up on it. 2 players up from $5 club, so excuse me, 3, and they're just trying to back out at this point. Keep their medic alive. Alpha's gonna jump up from the low ground, and oh, Mason's in a very tough spot right now. He's taking a good bit of spam, and he just narrowly survives with 16 health. And 20B's gonna grab this second point now. But the bombing Mangachu is flying across the point as well as Milo. They want to try and contest this one here. There's 2 players down for the $5 club, and I am just all over the place with this fight, man. It's a bit scrappy, but they're getting it done. So both teams gonna have that Uber shortly.
Yeah, 20B is riding out of their fortress and trying to get another round, mainly for honor purposes at this point. And it's turning out, so they're giving us something to watch here, which is nice. We got the Uber going off. Sizer gonna go down to Milo there. Well, Arctic Joe, wow. Yeah, Soldier over here for Showstopper got surrounded by the entirety of the $5 club, and they took him to $5 town.
Yeah, indeed, and the 20Bs push back once again. They just can't. They can't seem to catch a break here, and they're getting crunched by them from the flank side right now. They're actually managing to get a couple of frags back, but they had the potential to get absolutely decimated over there from that. Milo getting a monster shot into Sizer there as well. And that is just once again 3 players up from 20B, so the stick traps are going to get laid out by a deadbolt inside of the lobby here, but Kozen did go down, and Mason's going to be sitting pretty with 80% Uber just about to come up on it.
Yep, so this may spell the end for 20B on Snakewater anyways. Just a reminder, the next map will be Badlands, so it'll be the perennial classic map as 20B tries to keep their season alive.
It's all going to come down to that map for them, because I would say it's safe to say there's no hope for them at this point. And Squid's going to give a little bit of trash talk in the chat as well. Easy game, easy life. He's just laying it into 20B right now, as well as the rest of his team, as they just need to collect up on one more frag here, and they take this first map 5-1 in pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, let's just say that if I were able to bet on the saloon, that's not an outcome I probably would have assumed would occur. Not to say I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think that $5 club couldn't win or something, but 5-1 is a lot bigger spread than I would have put up if I were a betting man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was going to be much closer than that, man. $5 club just came out swinging hard on Snakewater there, and they take an early 5-1 lead. I don't know. I mean, do you think it's the $5 club playing well, or is it Street Hoops? I don't know. To me, they don't seem like they're all there tonight. Maybe, and not to take anything away from the $5 club, because they're certainly playing well, but to me, it just seems like Street Hoops isn't fully there for some reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something that you've noticed, but they just don't seem there for me.
Well, you know, this whole season so far, what we've seen out of $5 Club in this iteration, basically since Mason came in for DBW, $5 Club's done a lot of whack stuff. They I like aggressive teams, but they've even gone further than what I would consider to be aggressive, to just like crazy Ivan sort of style. Like they would just push cuz I guess it felt like the right thing to do, or the 8 ball told them to.
Mm.
But they really didn't do that tonight. There weren't too many. They were just a good aggressive team. 20B was the one doing the weird stuff. And yeah, I mean, in the second half they didn't have a choice. So I'll cut them some slack there. They had to. But early on in the first half, they did a lot of pushes that just didn't make sense. I guess maybe they had an inside man, or somebody decided that they did a lot of damage and they really had to go right now, but that ended up costing them a lot.
And because of that, now they're down one map. Their season is lying on this precipice of just they need to win this next map. It is all down to Badlands now for them, or they're going to get sent packing, and $5 Club is going to move on. And a reminder here as well, not sure if we mentioned it tonight, but the winner of this best of three here is going to play the loser between Ascent and Freya, which will be taking place at some point. I know they're trying to get that scheduled and figured out, but it'll be happening at some point. So the winner of this will play the loser of that game as we move forward in our Season 19 playoffs for ESEA Invite. But Marxist, I don't know if you have those stats up in front of you. What
I
stands out?
do. So the crucial medic DM battle is won by Mason. Both meds have 5 frags each, but Mason has roughly around a few more points of damage, because I don't want to math right now, than Kozin, and a full .3, it looks like, higher DDM. So lots of damage coming out. They each had 1 med pick each. Mason unfortunately had 3 drops. Kozin had 1. Kozin's was to the donk. I think all 3 of Mason's were to sticky traps. And we'll see. What do our frags look like? Well, the god of the match. So I covered all my bases and said it could be a soldier, scout, or demo. But Squid
Oh
went
my
51
God.
and 26. So he was very well fed.
Oh my God, dude. 51 and 26. Well fed, man. He's got to be fat by now. Like, that's really, really big stuff. He came out with a 253 DDM and 51 and 26. Like you said, that is pretty damn massive. And Dingo ended up beating out Deadbolt in the damage department. I think mainly because of that second half, really. He was leading before that, but Dingo wins the battle on that one as well. I mean, all around, the stats pretty much tell the story here of how this one went. So $5 Club in good position right now to move themselves forward. But I mean, you still got to get through Badlands, maybe even Viaduct if Street Hoops comes out and decides they want to play on this second map. So a lot of questions to get answered in the the coming games here.
Yep, we shall see. 20B is going to have to tighten it up a little bit. I like the fast style of play, but they gotta at least use some good sense sometimes. Make sure they're not going too ham.
Yeah, definitely a couple things to fix over on their side before we head into Badlands, because, I mean, their season depends upon it at this point, and they're not going to get away with playing how they just were on Snakewater moving forward. So definitely some things to look at from them. But as far as us, we're going to go ahead, take a real short break, get our snacks, get our water, beer maybe, to each their own. So we'll go ahead, take a quick break, and we'll be back with you guys for Map 2 on CP Badlands in just a few minutes.